Hello everyone, Jonathan Bear here, acting as Mercury's messenger, and this is the show Random Stuff. Okay, well, here's my second video today. I'm subscribed to the Leo King. I love his work. Um, Follow him, great astrologer. Um, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about where he's at currently and how I sort of view this. So his last two videos that he did, one he was talking about money, um, and about putting your energy there and whatnot. And personally, myself, how I look at it is there are many people out there who don't put any energy towards money at all. They just focus on what they love, and the universe supports them as long as they're living within their means, staying humble and whatnot. Um, the Leo King, typical Leo, right? He wants the best. He wants to be at the top, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there is. I've just noticed, uh, these new platforms that he's creating, he's running into some problems, and it's coming timely with this Saturn retrograde. Now, prior to Saturn moving into Capricorn, he was talking a lot about his plans on developing, a new website and all this kind of stuff. And I recall writing him a message saying, I'm getting a different read from Saturn entering Capricorn. To me, it's about making sure that our structure is strong, fortifying it, not expanding it, which is what the Leo King did. And he's at a point now with this retrograde that I feel he's lost the root of where his roots, basically, where he came from. He was basically, doing astrology on the street at first, and the Leo King app and whatnot. He kind of has abandoned this, and I think this Saturn hitting retrograde is actually going to humble him quite a bit and bring him back to those roots, right? Saturn is the foundation, the roots, and retrograde is returning to those roots. So I hope all the best to the Leo King with all his projects. I think he's doing great things, trying to help astrologers like myself to eventually possibly have a better platform to be on. But another thing that I feel is in his mind is he thinks that people want the multiple cameras from different angles kind of aspect, when that loses the personal feeling, the intimacy of the it's not necessarily a one-on-one, but I feel like you guys know what I'm trying to say here. This is a little bit more intimate. You're in my home right here. Sure, I'd like to have a better backdrop. I do have a studio space in my place here, but winter's been dragging on here in Canada. In the winter, I live solely on wood heat, and so I actually have a door that cuts off half of my home, and I set up myself in the living room on a futon. So I heat a much smaller space and have to maintain the heat in a smaller space. So come summer, I'll move back into that studio space for videos, you'll get to see some other woodworking stuff I do back there as well. But anyhow, yeah, I basically wanted to talk about that. And in this last video, the Leo King was also mentioning about Chiron in Aries and how Chiron's going to make us feel like how we can't do certain things. When I feel it's actually quite the opposite. Chiron is going to be healing us in this area, saying that we can do these things, you know. But to me, everything has every transit, every thing going on astrologically has the choice of looking at it either way. So in some ways, he's probably totally right. I look at it and how I've been feeling lately, you know, I just kind of jumped back into making videos here recently, and I'm really feeling like I can. And the Leo King is part of this inspiration. He recently did a video, April 10th, I believe it was, on how this is his anniversary of 6 years making a video pretty much every single day. And that's inspired me, you know. Like, I feel like even if I can accomplish like a hair of what he has in doing a video every day for 6 years, I would be so grateful. I live extremely humbly. I don't have much bills. I put no focus on money. I put my focus more on you know, rather than going and buying wood or whatever, I'll go and cut my own, as an example, which isn't necessarily true. I actually have a buddy who sells wood for ridiculously cheap. It hasn't been dried yet. It's fresh. It's still in logs, so I do have to split it and whatnot. But for the price that I'm picking it up from him, it would barely even cover my fuel for my vehicle to go into the bush, to buy the oil and gas for the chainsaw, the time that will take, where I could be putting that time towards other stuff, and even the dangers that possibly go with it. So even though I am buying my wood, I have put a lot of thought into it and figure that this is the cheapest way. Here's another example, you know, like I don't have internet or a Wi-Fi, same thing, I don't have a cell phone, I don't have internet, I don't have TV where I'm at. And I don't want those things. But last summer during a Mercury retrograde, I think it was in Gemini or my third house or something, and one of the astrologers that I subscribe to was talking about upgrading your technological communication devices. At the time, my mother had a smartphone that she didn't like, and she gave it to me. I didn't hook it up. I was just using it when I'd be within Wi-Fi. But a neighbor had told me about Rogers doing this 2 gigs of data on a tablet for $15 a month. I looked it up. I've noticed that Rogers even at points offered 3 gigs for $15. So at that time I said, okay, next time it comes up, I'll pick up a tablet. And when it came back when this sale happened was on a Mercury retrograde. Uh, Mercury retrograde's not the best time to pick up electronic devices, but it just seemed because it wasn't something that I just decided then. It was ongoing, and it was something that the previous Mercury retrograde kind of encouraged. I decided to. Um, the point I kind of got off point is I live rural in the bush, and anytime I wanted to go on Wi-Fi to watch a YouTube video, to communicate with someone on Facebook or Messenger, check an email, anything like that, I had to drive somewhere, and um, and it actually started taking a toll on my pocketbook, um, costing quite a bit in fuel. So the tablet, actually, the only reason why I got it was it actually, I'm saving money due to it, and and so there, I may put a little bit of energy towards money, but um, but just in being as smart as I can with it, and stretching it. That's a compliment I get from a lot of people. They don't understand how how good I am with money. How I just always seem to have some money in my pocket. Never worried about it. And I currently, I actually haven't worked for a year and a half. Um, so, and I still have a little bit of money put aside. I'm hoping not to touch. Um, I pick up side work here and there. Astrology is not something I've made any money from, but I'm considering this summer to start getting tables at events to bring in a little bit of extra cash, because Chiron in Aries is actually telling me that I can do this. I can be an astrologer, and eventually one day I can be rubbing elbows with my peers. Uh, and yeah, that's my message today. I can, you can, we all can. Don't forget that. And best of luck. Thank you very much. Have a good day. See you all soon.